Hello and welcome. It's been a while. Welcome to Solar Factory, Season 2. Season 2 is going to start from the beginning. I'm playing the 1.1 version of the game. I am also going to attempt to play this game using a controller. However, I have not yet figured out how to interact with this choosing starting area screen to import the session name and choose the area. So I'm currently using a mouse to do that. So once I get into the game proper, we'll flick it over to controller. But we're going to start in the Dune Desert, which you may recall from what was now essentially season 1 of Solar Factory, is where I had heavy modular frames and computers being made, with a bunch of other stuff. It's a pretty good area. I think it's going to have it's got a lot of resources, etc. So it'll be, I think, a good starting area. Bit open space though, so it could be a lot of walking between areas, but we'll see how we go. So I'm going to click start game. I'm going to let the intro movie play out, and then once I get into the game proper, as I said, we'll turn on the controller and see what it's like playing this game from the beginning, which I have not done for a long time because I played it in under early access, and most of the story stuff and the onboarding stuff was all sort of, well, not necessarily hit and miss, but wasn't fully there. So I'm really intrigued as to how this game actually plays from the beginning. This is the second attempt at doing this. I've already played it for a bit. Played it for a couple of hours, and I did record that, but I think I deleted it. I can't find the file, so I'm starting again. So I'll see you on the other side of the intro.
Separation from main transport complete. Group 8 delivered to Calistian region. All pioneers functional, initiating dispersion. Attention Pioneer, I am Ada, your personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant. Welcome to the Fixit Incorporated Save the Day program. A Fixit Pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fixit guidelines and instructions when constructing any building. Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure. Explore and exploit. Fixit selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation. Stay within your designated. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you. Fixit. Short-term solutions to long-term problems. Initiating planetfall. Atmospheric entry in 3, 2, 1. Beginning aero assist. Drag within acceptable parameters. Descent phase begun. Decelerating. Deploying parachute. Deploying backup parachute. Skipping parachute. Landing phase begun. Activating retro propulsion. Touchdown. Planetfall complete. Drop pod integrity nominal. Omni-situational exploration suit nominal. Pioneer. Acceptable. Congratulations, you are the third in your region to survive planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, AB-B, in the binary system of Akicha. Loading objective-based introduction. Begin onboarding. First contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien megafauna. Adhere to Fix-It procedure and equip the Fix-It Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
Alright, let's change over to controls, keyboard controller, and now we're using a controller. Okay.
Next objective. Dismantle the drop pod. Fix-It incorporated as cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste. The drop pod will be recycled to construct the first stage of the habitat and utility base, often referred to as the hub. Next objective. Use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able to build the hub. If you cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient iron sources.
I think that intro is basically the same as what I first did years ago when I played it under early access. But I don't know if it had that little sort of creepy voice that sort of dropped in. I think that's one of the things they've added in later in the 1.1/1.1 releases. Alright, so let's push up on that. Oh, briefly popped up. Alright, so we've only got one item to scan, that makes sense. So one thing I have changed is I've got in the options, I do need to make one change in here, but the gameplay you can see that the creature hostility is set to retaliate. That basically means that if I attack them, they will attack me, otherwise they'll just ignore me. Which is the way I like to play this. I do need to change one thing, and it is... that's already set to 1.5, that's that HUD scaling there. So when we start getting into some of these menus, etc., we'll be able to hopefully see stuff. So I know that we're going to need iron at the beginning, and we're going to need copper and limestone. So I'm just going to what we've actually got. So they're both iron. Let's see if we can get... So there's some limestone by the looks of it. That's not too far of a hike to get to there. If we had some relatively close by copper, I would probably build the hub area there just to begin with, because we'll definitely be moving it. So that's definitely limestone. Yep. So have we got any copper close by? I can't scan for it at the moment because it becomes a later scannable item. So I've just got to just look for it at the moment to see if it's around. I'm not seeing it close by at the moment. So let's see what we've got up here. Just pressing A to jump, that's really straightforward. Alright, so we've got some water up there. What's that? X to pick up. That's cool. We're going to need that for later, so let's do that. You can actually hold down X to toggle on an auto pickup. If I do that, I just walk around and it just picks up. So that's actually a kind of a pretty handy little UI gameplay sort of thing there. Just turn that off. Somehow. There you go. Right, so still looking for some copper. So there's 2 iron ores. We've got limestone. I wonder if there's some copper in this direction. Right, I don't think we're going to find any copper that's close-ish by. So we might actually look. We'll go this way a bit first. So we've got 2 iron ores, one there and one there, so that's all good. I wonder if there's anything over this way. I wonder if we walk back over here. Having already played this first bit already, I know that we're going to need iron ore, copper and limestone relatively probably within this first session, so we just like to find a space or a spot where those 3 resources are relatively close to each other, so make it a little bit easier to do. Okay, so what have we got? Go this way. Go through here, see what we've got. So there's iron ore again. More iron ore. What else have we got? I suspect that's also still iron ore. Yes, it is. So it looks like even though I'm pretty confident there's a lot of copper resource nodes in this area, they kind of spread out, and that's probably why when I first played this game I think it said that this area had a lot of resources but they were spread out. So alright. I'm going to go back to where it was. Okay, that's another iron ore.
Next objective. Use the build gun to construct the hub. Iron is a base component necessary for all near-future progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources. Fix-It does not pay by the kilometer.
So this is the... As I'm playing this on a... using a controller, I'm actually playing this on my big lounge TV. Therefore I'm not that close to the screen, and seeing some of those text on some of the menu items is a bit of a challenge, hence why I've got the HUD scaling turned up. Problem is they haven't... It's experimental, has been ever since it's been in the game, so it's been in there a long time. But the problem is, oh hello, what's this one? This might actually be, that looks like copper. Yes, okay, so there's copper. And that's iron. And so there's copper. Ah, there is that limestone we had. So that's copper. That's limestone. And over that little hill, this mound just here, we should find, I'm hoping, those two existing iron ores we had from before. Yes, okay. That's relatively central, so let's move and let's put, tell you what, we'll just build the hub near the iron ore, that'll be do. Alright, so we'll go down to a bit of this flatter area down here. There we go, build menu, left bumper. You want to build the hub. Select him. Where else can we place this? That'll do.
Hub foundation built. The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fix-It pioneer, but essential for the next steps of onboarding. Once finished, the hub will function as your base of operations. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 1.
So we've got our craft bench where we can manually craft stuff. Makes sense. And we've got this upgrade hub terminal. So in here are the 9 tiers, I think they call them. You can see them 0 through to 9, so it's actually technically 10. This is the issue with the HUD scaling. You can see at the bottom of that screen there, the X to select milestone is cut off. That's the HUD scaling doing that. But if I don't do it, this screen's very hard to read. So we'll select that, and it needs 10. What does that need? 10 rods, I think that needs. Yes, that's 10 iron rods, which we can make over here by going and making some ingots, iron ingots. Crafting, we'll do that. I'll just press X to start it, and it's going to manually craft ingots until I press X again. Alright, nearly done. And we'll go across there and choose that we're going to select 10. We just have to do this manually and stop. Right, so now we feed it to that and upgrade it.
Hub Upgrade 1, Storage and Frame, completed. Equipment like the portable miner can now be made in the workshop. Congratulations on completing your first milestone, the first of many providing access to new recipes and technologies for the Fix-It mission. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 2.
This is the first storage crate we'll get, which is cool. And now we go and pick Hub Upgrade 2 inside the tier 0 still. So it needs 20 iron rods and 10 iron plates. I think I can probably make that with what I've already got here. We'll make the plates first. It's 10. We'll make as many of these as we can make. And we'll need, so inventory. So we've got the plates, but we need 10 more iron rods. So I'll come up here. And we will just, so this beat here is actually to We Will Rock You by Queen, which is kind of neat. And behind, sort of hidden behind that objectives onboarding objective 6, a complete upgrade, hub upgrade 2 is actually the amount of iron I'm picking up. But sad as it's hidden behind that transparent little thing there. So I think it's got, it's just got to 20, so we'll stop at that. So we'll turn this into mini iron ingots. Okay, so what will we be short of? Rods.
Hub Upgrade 2, Power and Shell, completed. The smelter can turn raw ore such as copper and iron into ingots, and the biomass burner generates power when fueled. Fun fact: most of the native flora and fauna is compatible with Fixit technology. Fueling the biomass burner with inappropriate materials will result in deductions or even cancellation of your yearly bonus. Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 3.
Yeah, okay. So now we've got, so with each obviously milestone you get from it the next set of rewards. So from when we do this upgrade, or when we get this milestone, we can make a constructor, make power poles, make concrete, make screws, make reinforced iron plates, and also scan for limestone. So I think now we should be able to scan for copper again. So we should see that pop up. Yep, that one there. So that's good. There's also another one there. Okay. So what we're going to do now is go into the build menu and build a equipment workshop. Now, I'm going to try to at least. What do I need? 6 and 4. Okay. She's going to make that. Make it a 10 of each. There we go. I'll just put this equipment workshop over here. Not that far away. We might just rotate him around. I think I'm in the way. There we go. Build. Because now we've got the ability to make a portable miner. And we'll make one. We'll make 2. Right, because what we can do is we can now plonk a portable miner by going inventory and equipping it. Oh, okay, try that again. Oh, equipping. how do I... Oh, okay, gotta make sure I get into the right hand. So we'll just plonk that on there. It's the portal miner. He'll just mine himself. He has a capacity, I think, of 50 of online, like onboard storage, and then he'll stop producing. He'll stop mining. So what we'll do now is we'll run over to that copper one that we found earlier. There he is, that way. And we'll just plonk this one on there, and that'll give us that. I'll mine this while we're waiting. Okay, so that's giving us a bit, and we'll just take what this thing's already done. So it's done. I'll wait till it gets to 50, then we'll take some. Alright, so now I've got over 100, which is good. So on the back of the hub are two, or at least one to begin with, biomass burner. And we put the leaves into that to power it. So we'll go and grab the iron ore from this little miner, which I'm sure is probably close to being full. No, not really. I want the quickest thing. Okay. Right. So now we need plates, iron rods, and copper and wire, all three the same number. So we'll just make a bunch of these. And now a bunch of copper ingots. That will do for now. So we need 20 of each. And what have we got? None of each. Okay, so we'll go 20 plates. Length will be 1 to 3, so it won't take long. Done. And we'll grab 20 of these. They're 1 to 1 basically. So that's them done. And wire is also 1 to 1. It makes 2 I think each time. So there we go. That didn't take too long at all. So, dunk, dunk, dunk. And there's our thing, and that's done.
Hub Upgrade 3, Interior Furnishing, completed. The constructor can produce simple parts, and power poles allow for the expansion of the power grid. When you make the inevitable mistake, Fixit's dismantling feature is designed to salvage all resources used during construction, in line with our zero waste policy. We understand that Fixit pioneers are only human and thus prone to error. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 4.
Okay. So it needs 75 plates, 20 cable, and 10 concrete. And we'll get our conveyor belts, which is the next big thing. So we're not going to make enough plates. We're going to need more iron ingots. So let's build production. No, we don't have a miner yet. Okay, so that's a bit of a bugger. So is that what we're going to get with this milestone? No. So I wonder when we get miners. Okay. We've got smelter, which turns the raw ingot into so what we can do is we're just over here. So pretty much everything we're going to be doing in this first section will basically be dismantled at some point. So I'm not going to be too fussy with how it all lays out. We need 5 rods and 4 wire. So let's go and make that. So basically put the hub upgrade on hold for a bit, and we'll just build a couple of miners. Sorry, a couple of smelters, a couple of constructors in the areas we've got resource nodes, and then we will start building constructors and smelters, etc., to just make some of this stuff that we need. And we'll just feed them by hand with the raw materials, and also feed the raw materials into the biomass burners to keep everything powered. Right, so I've already forgot what I needed. In the piece with the mouse, you've got the ability to pin a select, rotate, sample. What's sample? X. No idea what that does. Quick switch is doing nothing. Snapping, which is what snapping's doing. Not too sure. Rotate, obviously rotates it, that makes sense. The lock hologram is really neat. Allows you to put it in the place and you can then walk around it. You don't do that. You just put it in place and keep, you can't lock that in. And then, I'm actually curious what that enable vertical nudging. Okay, right. Still getting used to these using controller. It is very different. 5 and 8 we need. There was a way to pin a build to pin it so you could see the materials needed to make it, but I'm not seeing that option with the controller just yet. So we needed some of those. Just go make. That will do. Yeah, some of those. Right. So this is going to be a smelter that will take raw materials from eventually a miner will put on here. So we do want this to be relatively close in terms of having to make the belt runs that will eventually come out of it. So we might put this this smelter, rotate him around, we'll lock it in there, and I think that will be good. So we will build him there. What we'll then do is we will build, go down to here and go power pole, which I need cable, one of, so we'll go build a quick cable. What we'll do is we'll basically put a power pole oh, I had the wrong thing. The power pole. Oh, and the concrete. Okay, so that's limestone. So let's go over to our limestone deposit, which we should be able to scan for. Yes, we can. Pretty sure he's over this direction. There he is. So how much limestone we just pick up? 58, quite a fair bit. Alright, I'll just keep. Should be 100. Yes, good. Alright, back to the hub. And we'll turn that limestone into concrete. Yeah, basically what I want to do is I want to put a power pole basically between. There'll be a mine eventually on that there, and there'll be that, so I'm just going to put this power pole roughly there. And then we'll go and do power line from there to there, and from that biomass burner to there. Now we'll walk up and we'll configure this to make iron ingots, and we'll give it 100 to begin with. And now what we'll do, walk up to here, and we'll feed it some leaves. So it should now start producing iron ingots. Yep, it has. So we basically need to replicate that in the other areas where we've got the... Eventually, actually, before I forget, let's go and make another little portable miner for the limestone deposit. Good, because we'll need that. And then eventually we'll try and make enough materials to make a smelter next to the copper ore deposit. Let's keep getting roughly where it is. That mine will definitely be full now. So we'll probably put the miner sort of facing that way. I don't think I can make it. No. Ah, there it is. Add to to-do list. That's what I'm after. Now it tells you I need a smelter, iron rod 5 and wire 8, and I've already got 15, so that's cool. So, go and make 5 more rods. Yeah, we don't need a smelter for the limestone deposit. It doesn't need a... you don't make ingots out of the raw material. That'll be enough for that. Now that power won't last that long. So I've then got to build power poles and cable to get all the way through to this, what I'm going to build over here. So sort of future planning for some belts we'll put in. Oh, that's not what I want. Build menu is left, right trigger. No, it's left. Bumper. Smelter. So we will rotate him that way. Will do. And then we will build a pole. See how far we can. I can't remember how far these can. The power pail that can go. I wonder if I can get to a point where we can see. Just build that there. Then we'll grab that. If that can go to there. Cool. And if we can get to the top of this hill, we should then have visibility on if it goes red, we're in trouble. But I think we'll be fine. Yes, we'll put it on top of that hill. And then we'll connect that cable. Don't have cable, that's why. So this has gone yellow on this light at the back here to say that it's not operating. But we see we've got green down there at the biomass burn, which means it's got enough materials, but it means this is full of output. So I'll grab that. And then we'll add in some more materials. And then we'll go and make a cable so we can plug in, connect our last power. Oh, can't make cable. Let's make some wire first. Right. We'll go and grab that. Select that and join that to that. So now this biomass burner here, which if I walk up to it, has a maximum of, you can see there it's got 20 megawatts, that's making 20 megawatts at the most. We'll do eventually in one of the upgrades we'll get a second one, so that'll give us 40. So that's feeding that power cable, power pole. That's feeding this, which is currently using 4 megawatts, as will the other smelter. So this will also be using 4. It might not because I don't have anything in it, but it will feed it. So we'll see if we walk up to him and configure him to make copper ingots, and we put copper into it. It will now be making copper ingots, and we'll make copper ingots, so that's that bit. And we can walk up to here and grab that. So now we've got that. So we can probably now spend a little bit more time getting the bits needed for this hub upgrade 4. There's not much more we can do at the moment. Taking 100 out of that. We'll feed 100 into that, and that's got 100. Got 100 ingots already, so we'll be able to make lots of plates. So, oh, and there's the famous noise of the power fuse being blown, because I suspect we've run out of resources in the biomass burner, so it's turned off, and therefore the two machines have blown the fuses. We'll let this run. Alright, can't make any more of those. Oh, 72. Needed 3 more. Alright, so what that means is we need to go around picking up leaves. So I'm going to spend a few minutes picking up leaves, and then we'll come back and just feed a whole bunch of stuff into that biomass burner. Alright, so that took a while, but we've got 500, 1,000, we've got 1,300. That'll last us a fair while, I think. So let's go feed that first lot of 500 into the biomass burner here, and that'll get our 2. So give it some fuel, and then we back up again. Beautiful. Alright, let's have a look at what this miner's got in it. So the miner's full, so that's good. We'll take him out. What we'll do is we'll go over to our limestone deposit and we'll put the other portable miner on it. Right, let's go over to the other smelter we've got. We'll just unload the portable miner. Just grab what this is produced. Oh. Starting to set up a little mini factory here. Right, I think we should now have enough ingots being... Probably this is already... Yep, this will be... have its output full, so we'll grab all of those. And we'll go into here, and we should have... Oops, we should have enough to make the remaining plates. And then we make some rods. And you can see at the bottom we don't quite have enough limestone to make the 10 concrete that we need for this milestone, so we'll feed we'll feed these rods in, and the last couple of plates we need. Oh, it's not plates, not iron rods, we need cable, I've had. Cable, so make a wire. Make the concrete while we're here. Right, now we should be able to feed it that and... No, we have enough concrete. Right. Done.
Hub Upgrade 4, Landing Platform and Utilities completed. Conveyor belts connect the output of one building to the input of another and transport resources. Due to past incidents, I have been asked to issue a clarification. Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts. There is nothing to suggest, visually or functionally, that they can be connected to portable miners. If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 5.
there it is, miner Mark 1. That's the one we need. And we get storage containers. That'll come in handy. Alright, so we can feed it the rods. We've already got them. Got the concrete, feed that, and we need 50 cable. So I think we might be able to go close to that once we make a bunch of wire.
Hub Upgrade 5, Power Expansion, completed. The miner, unlike portable miners, can be connected to conveyor belts and requires power to function. Caution: as you expand, the energy demand of your production may exceed the capacity of your power grid. The onboarding program was established because Fix-It pioneers often experience memory issues after planetfall. If you are experiencing nosebleeds, nausea, existentialism, or an itchy scalp, there is no need for concern. This should pass within 5 to 7 workdays. Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 6.
Yep, that's good. So now we've got 2 burners. Both will output 20 megawatts each, giving us a total of 40. And by doing that, we should now be able to bring out a add that to a sort of a grid of sorts, and we can probably start potentially getting a constructor over near the brain freeze limestone to make concrete. Right, because we need 50 of it. So you can see we need 100 rods, 100 plates, 100 copper wire. Copper wire, 100 wire and 50 concrete. So now we've got the miner, we can actually put the miner in. So let's go back into here, production, miner. We'll actually pin that, and we're going to need to make 3 of them actually, because we've got one for this iron ore node, one for the copper node, and one for the limestone. So do that. We'll grab that. Go with that. And you can see for each one of them we need the portable miner. Basically, we'll just dismantle, just take that one. We need 30 plates and 30 concrete. We've got 9, so we got to make keep making those plates. And concrete, we can't make any concrete. So let's go over here. I'm tempted to reinforce plate. I'm pretty sure that's a rod and a plate combined to make a reinforce, but I'll just double check that. Reinforced is screws. Okay, so it's a plate and screws. You need 12 of them. Okay, so that's not going to work just yet. So we'll just go and take from the portable miner what we've got. awful lot of back and forth when you're in the early part of this game, which is to be expected. So we'll grab that and then we'll hold down X and pick up the miner. Right, now we should have enough to make these 3 miners. Because so we'll rotate him round so that he roughly points towards. We'll lock that hologram in. Oh, no, I didn't press the wrong button. Right, that should. This doesn't really line up well at all. Let's try dismantling, which I think is a left bumper, and then right bumper to dismantle. Yep. And then right left thing, and we'll make that. I wanted to lock that. Go that way. Oh, the animal's in the way. There we go. Right, so now we don't have power for that, but that won't take long because we should now be able to go grab power from that pole and chuck it to there. And now we can now make a conveyor belt because we can now go a conveyor belt and go from there to there. And now that should start producing again. Right. We'll come over here and we'll build another mine over here. Because we do in fact have enough for all 3 of them now. And we'll pick up that and pick him up. And then see roughly what we've got to line up with. So back into nope. Rotating round. And we should be able to now go. What I might actually do is put a power pole here. So there. And then grab some power from that pole to there, and from that pole to that, and then we'll dismantle that, and then we'll power up that to that. Okay. So that's 3 of them going. Now, let's just walk up to one of these power poles and just see how much power. I think we're going to be slowly. So what have we got? We've got a miner. We've got 2 smelters using 4 each, which is obviously 8. And then we've got a miner, which I'm pretty sure is also going to go 4. No, that's 5. So that's 5, 5, 10 is 18. So if I put on another miner over there, I'm going to blow the fuse. Because at the moment we're basically running almost at capacity. So what we'll do is we'll go and feed this second biomass burner with a bunch of leaves, which I've got sitting in the little crate here. So grab that. And feed him. And now we should have a capacity of 40 megawatts. See, we've got consumption 18, maximum consumption 18, production 18, capacity is 40. That's good. Okay, so we've got a consumption. You see how the consumption dropped to 14.1? That means something is stopped functioning. I think it's probably going to be this guy, because the output is full. That. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the other limestone node, and we'll put a miner on the limestone node. And that I'd like to then feed that into. In fact, what I'm going to do, push that, production, and we're going to add that to our to-do list. Because that's what you need to make concrete, is a constructor. It doesn't need a smelter. So I'll pick him up. It's a very odd shaped resource node, that one. Okay. And then we want a production miner. I don't have enough dinger for it. Right, let's have a look. So we need to get 10 more plates. So that's not going to be a problem, because we've got an absolute bucket load of ingots now. We can make 134 ingots. And now we should be able to make there's our one iron plate and our second iron plate. Okay, why doesn't it think I've got it? Ah, I haven't actually made it yet. There we go. Beautiful. Right. So we can now make the constructor and the miner. So again, we need to give it some power. So let's put a power pole here. And because we'll need two over here for a miner and a constructor, we'll put that there. And now we'll build the constructor first. So again, go a bit more that way. Then look at building the miner. And that'll do. Because they're so close, we should be able to build a conveyor belt to go from there to there. So this will that'll just mine what it can, and this will make it that it's making concrete. Now with that, we'll go that to that. I think we might have a blown fuse because that's not operating. We'll put some stuff in. There we go. Capacity's at 40, but we can, if everything's running full pelt, we can use 27 megawatts. I suspect we've probably got a couple of full machines, hence why we didn't actually blow a fuse just then. So I think we should now have enough, with that all running, we should have enough ingots and etc. to make the 100 plates and 100 rods. The smelter and, miner and constructor over there will make the concrete in due course. And then we'll just need to make the wire. Okay, and dismiss it. Right, we can now. So what do we need? 100 rods, 100 plates. Alright, let's just get them going. I'm not too sure what's happened, but the game's audio has stopped. It's very odd. Alright. Alright, so we need another 24 rods and another 14 concrete. So we'll have enough of that. This will give us the rods. We just need to build, we'll go 25. Do that. Need 14 more concrete. I fully suspect that over in this little constructor will be at least 14 concrete. So
Hub Upgrade 6, Landing Platform Hydraulics, completed. Freighter landing initialized. Congratulations, you have completed onboarding and achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Fixit pioneer. Fixit looks forward to your future achievements, because a future with Fixit is a future with you. Tier 1 and 2 milestones are now available in the hub, and biomass burners can now be built individually. Your first official objective is to initiate project assembly by building the space elevator. This objective will take a significant amount of resources, so Fixit recommends getting to work.
okay, so the space elevator is a big thing we have to build. So let's just see exactly what's needed. So we need 500 concrete, 250 rods, no 400 rods, 250 plates and 1500 wire. So clearly I'm not going to make that all manually. So we won't build that elevator for a while. But what we will do is spend a fair bit of time setting up some more production lines. So if I go back into the hub, let's just go look at tier 1. So in tier 1 does require a lot of resources, but we get the first lot of the building stuff, which is a lot foundations. So we need that. And then we've got mergers and splitters, which will come in handy. And the first lifter as well. And build field researchers. Okay, some object scan and the MAM and the map comes in. Recipe copier is actually a mod that I've got, so that's the materials required for a mod, so don't worry about that for a while. And structural solutions, frame, beams, cables, and those four at the end there, they are also mods, so we're not going to worry about them. But we're definitely going to do base building as a target, and logistics as a target to get splitters, because I think what I'll end up doing, because I need to make for that elevator, let's actually do that. So because we need 400 rods and plates, we need to have come out of the miner into the smelter, and then take it from the smelter, split it into 2 outputs to feed a constructor each to make one making rods, one making plates. And then what we will want to do is turn that, you can see we've got a container. We then want to combine those from those 2 constructors into a single belt run to go into a container. And there's our fuse plate. So that's fine. And that'll be the sort of the next phase of this iron ore production stuff here. So that's cool. And then so that'll be what we'll do. So I think we'll focus on this one and this one. And probably won't worry about that one just yet. And then tier 2. Tier 2, yeah. Definitely do space building, logistics and field research. I think if I do those ones won't matter. They're the first actual 3. That may unlock phase 2, phase 3 of the, no, maybe not too sure. Alright, so we'll do base building. And then we're going to here, so that needs a bunch of concrete. Alright, so make some more rods. Tell you what, no, let's do it this way. Let's do that little production stuff I was talking about. So let's do the logistics one so we can get the splitter, because I think that's probably going to be more useful at this point. So we'll do that. So we need 150, 150, 300. So we should be able to make the wire one, because we don't need much heating the wire at the moment. So we'll do that. That's going to be very therapeutic as you wait for this to tick up. I decided to go with changing the tier, the milestone I'm going to go through and go for the base building one, because I'm struggling to, because of the terrain around this little area, I'm struggling to actually essentially build anything because of how uneven everything is. So for example, we're going to the production and I've got 2 constructors here. I've got the materials to make it, so that's not an issue. But you see with how uneven everything is, there's a bit of a struggle to sort of make it. And I could do it there. But then you've got to get there up to there, so what I think I'll do is I'll get base building up and running and I'll start putting some foundations in and start building some sort of actual factory floor of a sort. Even if it means I've got to move some of these smelters away. So what I could do as a sort of initial factory of a sorts is put in here, which looks relatively flat to me. Build a big area in here that could be relatively flat, and maybe build some machines on there. But that's where we're at the moment. So I'm going to do a bit of time on that. I'm going to struggle a little bit because I don't have power to power everything. I have got enough plate, I think. No, I need 10 more plate. So that's all I can make too. So that gives us 100 plate. So do that. What we could actually do is if we dismantle that and dismantle that, we might be able to have enough. Power these 2. What have I done here? Oh, I see. Right, I need to actually dismantle that and go. Oh, it doesn't have fuel. Okay, that explains a lot. Alright, I need to go on a leaf collecting run again.
Potential edible collected. If consumed before authorized is compatible with the human digestive system by Fixit, the consumer is responsible for any and all consequences. Store this potential resource for later use. This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving Fixit production line efficiency. Store this potential resource for later use. Potential edible collected. Eating it and surviving does not count as a valid field test and does not generate enough data for Fixit to make an informed decision. Store this potential resource for later use.
Alright, I went and found nearly 1500 leaves. Took me ages. I walked all through there, all through there, all through there, and ended up way over there somewhere. So I've got we've got the two biomass burners that are attached to the hub up and running. We can actually build our own ones now. You see they take 15 plates, 15 rods, and 25 wire. They will in fact make 30 megawatts, so they are a bit more powerful than each of these individually. Each of those are 20. So we could look at doing that. So we might look at doing that a bit later on, but at this stage we'll just won't be doing it just yet. So we're still just trying to make. So as I said, I decided to change over and get the logistics up so we can actually make factory floors effectively to help with layout a bit. Now we need concrete. I think that will be the end of episode 1 of season 2 of Solar Factory. I will keep building this up a little bit between episodes, and hopefully by the time we come back in episode 2 we'll have a bit of a floor built, or a factory floor built, and we'll move some of these machines we've got into those factory floors to make the layout a bit easier. And we will have a look at, so after we've done the base building, we'll work on logistics. As I said, we can then use that to make from that one output of that miner into that smelter. We can split that into two and have two constructors making rods and plates each, which will allow us to relatively quickly feed into the logistics. Feed into that. And then slowly work through this setup. And look at what we can, what else we can do here. But yes, thank you for listening to and watching episode 1 of season 2 of Solar Factory. I'll be back hopefully soon. Obviously real life does get in the way of this, so we'll see how we go, but yes, hopefully we'll be able to get back into a bit of a routine, get these episodes out relatively semi-regularly, and we'll go there until the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.